See whether they can use this to try and get a little bit of extra power in the lane and also have those setups that are possible. This is really interesting from DRX, and I'm really glad that we finally get to see the Twisted Fate.
So if it's AD Twisted Fate, I think it's going to have a really bad time into Karma a lot of the early game. And if he tries to Destiny Gate and then collapse onto someone, I think your best bet is going to be trying to kind of just gank topside right and shut down the Aatrox. If you're trying to flank a Caitlyn, for example, you're never going to have the prio to do that. You're never really going to have the prio to do it topside either. You're really going to have to fish for an angle to use this Twisted Fate. As exciting as Twisted Fate is, and would love to see AD, I don't know if that really makes sense or is ever going to work here in this case. The rest of the draft, though, I can kind of get behind. You know, if you play it front to back, if you play it slow, you've got double threats. You know, you have the Ashe Ezreal, which in a longer fight will slow those targets down for the Ezreal to then chip away at them and do a ton of damage. Ezreal's buffed on this patch. His ratios are good. And I think that some aspects of this are going to be quite strong. I just do worry about the AD Twisted Fate. I mean, a lot of AD Twisted Fate, you don't even stack the wave clear ability. You don't even skill that. You're going to need that against Karma.
Well, yeah, and also, like, we have seen a lot of Twisted Fate is just being played AP, right? Like, you don't have to play
I think he probably should.
AD version. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. A lot of players just experimenting. Let's dive onto the Rift here for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, DRX fans a little bit in shambles. I can feel because those fan chants were a little bit sporadic, a little bit all over the place. But I could imagine that's how you would be feeling after that game number 1. Reeling a little bit would be the best way to put it. They're going to have to dive back onto the horse here, though. See whether things can work out a little bit better. And with a really cool composition like this, I do like the possibility. Satab has taken the fleet footwork and has gone into his Doran's Blade to start this one off. And of course, it is possible that he still just plays AP from here.
Yeah, I mean, certainly possible. Just looking at stats for Satab, it is his first professional game of Twisted Fate. He has never played it before.
That is actually so interesting because there hasn't been a Twisted Fate meta, so why would he?
Yeah. Season 12, Season 13, Season 14, those are the 3 seasons he's played professional play.
Yep.
He has not played it yet. There were some niche moments where you could play Twisted Fate in like Season 12. We saw Chovy actually play it a lot. He was kind of one of the only people who do it.
That's true.
Showmaker 2 would do it sometimes. But it was not very common. In 2021, that was when we saw Twisted Fate like all the time.
Every game, yep.
And that was right before Satab, got into the challenger scene and started playing professionally, so makes sense that he hasn't played. Obviously, he is a League of Legends enjoyer, so I'm sure he's played hundreds of games of Twisted Fate in his life, but just never on the professional stage before. So find that to be interesting as well, that he's going to be tested in such a way, especially because his individual performances have definitely left us a little bit wanting, especially based on what we've seen from him at his best throughout his career so far.
I'm really sad that they didn't choose Jax as their split pushing option, though, for the top lane. Just because then we'd literally have every champion being more than 12 years old.
Yeah, that would have been really rad.
That would have been pretty cool. But instead, it's Camille, and Camille is a little bit newer than that. I think she was like 2017 or something. 2016?
Remember Camille Jungle?
I do. There is a skin for a certain player for Camille Jungle. But I don't like remembering 2018 Worlds because that was a sad time for the majority of not only just KT fans,
but LCK fans,
but LCK fans in general, and especially Genji and Freak fans. It was just not a good time.
Not the greatest for us. He did skill Q. That's something that you don't always do, but I think you have to do in this matchup. And he is holding his own pretty well, obviously early on. Showmaker did not get first blood and get a freebie to start things off. And with red card, you can obviously deal with the Karma push better than a lot of other champions can at level 3.
Yep, and it's going to be a lot of lane trading here as well. Of course, Twisted Fate does have a fair few lane control tools at his disposal. You can see just chilling. So, Predator walking on Vision right now as Kellen leaves the lane. Right now, bottom side of the map is very much even. And so this new Bard skin, kind of cool, right, and stuff like that. I don't even know how new it is, but like Snow Day Bard with the nice little cup of cocoa that you can leave your teammates. It's really cute. I'm a big fan of it. As Kingen does spot out the fact that Sponge is here after getting that ward over the wall.
Good ward placement, actually, to see him, even if he took a really weird, awkward angle.
Whoa, that's a big old flash as Kellen is just going in. They get the trap down as well as aiming the 90 caliber net. Oh my goodness, crash down from Lucid. They are really committing to this one, but it's not going to work out. Lucid down to 100 health. They do manage to get a whole bunch of summoner spells, but no first blood just yet.
It is actually shocking and almost illegal that nobody dies here for
That's
DRX.
crazy.
But it was a little bit botched there, unfortunately, by Lucid. Didn't commit his flash there, comes up a little bit short. And unfortunately, as a result, PredatorGreene will escape with his life. A summoner down, or rather a flash down, but 3 summoners down total here for DRX. It's still a small win here for D+, but they definitely could have gotten so much more.
Just pretty crazy. Like seeing a Bard flash over a small wall like that when it's a Bard, that is intimidating because he has an ability that just does that, you know?
Yeah.
But instead, he wants to make sure that he's as much of a jump scare as possible. Definitely like the gusto.
This is the moment. Well, no, it's not. I was going to say, this is the moment we find out what STOMPEADA is building, but actually it's not. So, it will soon be the moment. We're just not there yet. As yeah, starting to gold card trade when Showmaker hits the minion wave is how you're going to end up getting really nice trades into the Karma. So that feels really nice. STOMPEADA's able to get that. But Showmaker is just going to leave and teleport back in. But if he does it again, you know.
Yeah.
That's,
and now we've got STOMPEADA leaving as well, which is what we really wanted to see. See exactly where this build is going to be going. If he picks up a Kacheezy's,
as cool
we'll
as
get an idea.
As cool as it is to see him do that, it's also practical because it means that it's really difficult for Sponge to actually get any of those in a potential steal.
Yeah, you never have to worry about the shields either. It's just a whole lot more efficient. And so it looks like it will be the AD version of the Twisted Fate, or at least on hit. Still do a fair bit of magic damage.
Berserker Greaves
stacking the deck.
Coming out, and you know, we'll see obviously what items he does end up building into. There's a lot of different variants of the build, but one of the most common rushes is the Shiv. Static Shiv allows you to just kind of sit in the side lane and push waves super fast and then constantly be that 1-3-1 threat. So that is the expectation that he'll build that first, and then we'll see what he does after that in terms of like rapid fire cannon, quite standard, as Kingen maybe endangered.
Destiny going to be used here towards this top side of the map, and Kingen I think has realized that he may not be getting out of this one, and there is first blood going over to Rascal. And he didn't even manage to clear much of the minion wave. That's a really great first gank. And we often say, Twisted Fate, if you get your first Destiny off, you're in a good spot.
I know that's one of your favorite things to say about Twisted Fate, just like what
I didn't get to say it for the last 2 years, Wolf. You mentioned that to me.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had to talk about the Zoe Wolf turret for a while either, so I'm still waiting on my chance. But I was going to say it, but you said it already, and I knew you were going to say it. He also didn't have to use Hextech Ultimatum in order to secure that kill. It was just simply a Destiny into gold card situation there. Kingen didn't flash, didn't try to get out of it, just accepted his fate, and then we'll teleport back to lane. As you can see, Sponge is here, and I think as Kingen sees there are 3 people here, he's like, let's just get as many minions of this as I can. Misses all those ranged minions, unfortunately, and that means that Rascal can grab a plate on top of it all. So feeling fantastic about his start here. Twisted Fate picking up an assist early for STOMPEADA as well.
Yeah, and really nice. And
DRX.
also, the bounce back for STOMPEADA. Fantastic, right? Like, he had a really rough game 1 and is now really ticking some boxes here in game number 2.
Okay. The fact that things have gone this well, the fact that he's been able to CS so well into the Karma, you know, he's clearly got experience on this pick, and Rascal, he has ult.
Yeah, this is returning the favor. That's what we like to call it, as Kingen's going to land all of those sweet spots, and it's looking all too easy. All right, that's an even bigger minion wave, and he's going to get even more punished, Wolf. This is so unfair.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Oh,
that's not equivalent.
It's like the same gank, though, but this one's much higher value, and that even missed the minion wave.
Oh, that was actually quite bizarre. Not entirely sure about that one, but yeah, you missed it, and there wasn't anybody backing there, so doesn't get any value out of that True Shot Barrage. And now,
all right, Teddy, cosmically bound for a moment, but actually Kellen's going to take the worst end of these trades. Really nice Mystic shots. Of course, Teddy, a very practiced Ezreal player. We get to talk about all of our Ezreal players here in the LCK.
Yeah. So Rascal has Hextech Ultimatum, but it isn't really going to do much for him in this scenario. Like Kingen before him, and there is just no way out of this.
Yeah, and Magical Journey going to come through here as once again there is a Horse Lady being delivered, and this time I think PredatorGreene may die. He had Flash, but he just didn't have a chance to use it.
Actually, just not up yet, looks like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, just barely
Yeah,
not. I
maybe
apologize, everyone. He
maybe like-
might have been, but I think he's still dead.
Yeah, I think he probably still dies there, but just on the edge of it, probably like 15 to 20 seconds away at that
Fantastic
point.
timing, though, for the gang.
Yeah, really nicely done. Sponge is being very aggressive here. He does not have any vision on that brush, and Kingen will greet him.
Yeah, so Infernal Chain's going to pull him back as he still manages to get the stun with the heroic charge. But now Lucid, he'll turn up. Another crash down coming on in here as Kingen's looking for some sweet spots. Doesn't find a few of them. And now it's mano a mano as Showmaker actually looking to try and change that. Satap going to be held in position as Kellen's going to turn up as well. The chimes coming on through, and he does make his way out. So Sponge gonna have to use everything, but does make it out. And it's Rascal that is the beneficiary. Get some spare time in the top lane.
Yeah. And Kingen will come up here and get most of these minions, but as you say, it does get some additional time up there. He's 12 CS up right now. Could feel Valdez's fist Arthur clinching as the blast cone allowed Sponge to flash his way out of there. But he does escape with his life, and DRX still maintaining even gold right now in this game. And Twisted Fate, obviously, for Satap here, still maintaining that CS with Showmaker. And this is not impossible, right? The hardest time has passed, but Showmaker, you know, he got quite an advantage last game. This time he obviously won't have that extra edge. And Satap has been solo killed in a lot of lanes, to be frank, this season. So far, though, handling this one really well. Helps out with that top side play. As we're just going to watch this one more time.
Yep. It's going to be the Hexabubs one more time. And that is going to be a lot of extra pushing power. And actually, I think that DRX would have really liked to get some of the Void Grubs themselves. Just with the fact that they are playing a composition.
Oh,
is that a solo kill? No, it's not. Showmaker not able to actually get the... okay, Arrow is just going to sail by. Looking lovely. There's another Global going to sail by. Looking wonderful. Hits Lucid. There you go. Value.
Oh, this is a wild game already.
It is. All right. Aiming, finding a couple of headshots here onto Teddy, who just wants to play some soccer.
Imagine Teddy just arcane shifts like by default there and just lands right on that trap and dies.
Oh, no.
I thought when I saw that trap go down, I thought for just a split second,
I would have been that arcane
it.
shifter. I would have been that guy. Teddy, thankfully, is not going to.
Thankfully, he does not. Almost caster curse Satap into getting solo killed there, but no Malignance just yet for Showmaker. Not going to have that additional damage just yet.
Yep.
And that would have been less than ideal, this scenario, let's just say. It's still, again, small lead here for D+, as...
Okay, I've got some Qs landing here for Kingen. As Hookshot going to come down. There's the Hextech Ultimatum as the Bard going to keep Kingen alive. You can see opted into that one as now Showmaker able to teleport in. And it was all just a cunning ruse here by D+.
Satap expends his ultimate, but isn't able to affect the play, unfortunately, in any way too far away. The Bard ultimate gonna allow Kingen to turn this one around. Good roam here from Kellen. And aiming, he's gonna head back to lane. We'll see if any plate punish comes down here for Teddy and Pleta. Don't think it's gonna happen. Lucid's here to cover. And the Drake is still up there. Nobody's
it's hanging out.
It's hanging out as Showmaker's much more interested in getting plate gold right now in the mid lane. His third of the game does go over, and you know, Satap was keeping his cool, holding on pretty well there, but now that he's roamed top side to try to save that play, you can see his turret is just very quickly collapsing under the weight of 6 Void Bubs picked up here for Showmaker.
That's a ridiculous thing. We've actually seen these Void Bubs being utilized much more effectively this week in comparison to our first 3.
Yeah.
It's good to see that our teams are really starting to get around what it's valuable for, and the Showmaker really making use of it there, as we could see, able to cut down the majority of that turret. Very nicely done. But I think for me, it's been these roams from Kellen that have been just outstanding. And Showmaker once again going to do that walk up to Satap thing. He takes a fair bit of damage, but a Magnet Storm comes down and he'll have enough. As, all right, never mind, just one last poke. And there it is, Lucid able to tank up the turret for what feels like forever. True Shot Barrage is going to it is a beautiful ability. I'm glad we get to see it. Oh, value!
There you go.
There we go. Hasn't missed an ulti yet.
Heal.
All right, that's a flash for flash. Kellen is just hyper-aggressive. Okay, do we get the trap down? Yes, we do. There's the headshot as well. The net and another one!
Nothing but net, baby!
That was gorgeous.
And never safe.
And look, I do really like when Showmaker gets POGs, but I'm not going to be sad when this is definitely Kellen.
Yeah,
he is. It's been a while since we've got like the vintage Kellen experience.
Yeah.
And this is really something else.
Like top tier enchanter support Kellen. That's what I'm about.
Oh yeah.
Less Alistair Kellen.
Oh no!
But look at this. Well, look, we're Caster Blessing. You know, he gets to have this play here. We get to see this again. Satab, as soon as he's tethered here, he decides he's going to opt into the auto trade with gold card, and if Lucid's not here, he wins that.
Yeah,
but you got to always think about the jungler, and he did not. He goes down. I almost. Oh god!
Wait, out of the replay into the replay. It's kind of crazy as Kellen once again just drifts over the wall. Going to meep slap them a little bit, but everyone will survive for the moment. A lot of play gold going over to D+ here, as we can see.
When we watched that play where Satab died to Lucid there, I was watching his player cam. He looked like he almost threw his headset off. He looked so frustrated about the scenario. Now he's pushed out of lane again. It's going to come here topside.
All right, Kingin going to get stunned up. There's another Hextech ultimatum. He's going to bounce around. Everyone's in melee range. It's normally a thing that Aatrox is like, as he does get the flash out of Rascal in the end, so not going to be a wasted one this time. But it will mean that this outer turret on the bottom side of the map will fall down, aiming with a whole bunch of spare time. It's exactly what the Caitlyn wants, and we'll see whether they can return the favor with this turret going down. As all right, the Poppy is going to find Showmaker making his way in. Arrow is going to miss this time around, as the Tempered Fate was there. It isn't actually going to be utilized, but still enough here with the Cosmic Binding coming down. Somehow Showmaker managed to miss that Q, and that was more impressive than if he had landed it, in my opinion.
That's actually very true. I believe that turret gave bounty gold. It was, I think bounties had just come up at that point. I'm not 100% sure actually, but they are able to successfully grab that turret. And Showmaker wants more.
Yeah, it sort of looks like there's just two people chasing after all of DRX here, but it's not the case. Kingin is wrapping around. Yeah, Aiming's going to get in here as well, and this is going to turn into the Thunderdome. There is at least a turret, but it is not very healthy. And Kingin, he's just going to go in. 1 versus 4 and will be taken out. Not entirely sure about this one, but now Lucid, it could be his turn. He's flashing, and he's going to be able to crack down. Buffers it, even though the heroic charge was there. And now Aiming is going to right-click people.
I am very glad that he did and that this was very successful. Otherwise, it was D+ softball and DRX back into the game. But luckily, Aiming is so massively ahead. He has 4 kills now, and he is able to just fire them down. Looks a little bit scary for a second there on the overextension, potentially. But he has the damage. They do successfully grab those kills there. And D+ now going to grab a Rift Herald on top of it all. And DRX following further and further behind. This Ezreal is just not relevant right now in this game. The Twisted Fate, who went Kraken Slayer first, just isn't in any position to proc Kraken Slayer and hit multiple autos in most scenarios, unfortunately. Pleta.
My goodness. Okay, Pleta is in dire straits. Is going to be taken down below half, but is able to walk it off. And thankfully, it is a Cloud Soul. And thankfully for multiple reasons, mainly because it's my favorite, but also because it does have the Cloud Rift, which allows him to walk a whole bunch faster.
So in some ways, Atlas, the 1-3-1, you know, we were talking about with Camille Twisted Fate, like the Camille can kind of do things. Satab, not so much.
It's not twisted anymore. It has been tempered. Satab will be pulled back. Kingin just going to land on top of him there, showing the DRX logo to the DRX player. Insult to injury there. They will be able to take him down underneath his inner turret.
Yeah, he looks really unhappy. Another shots where he's shaking his head. I mean, it's tough. You're playing into a composition that will just collapse on you and kill you. You have no survivability in this build. You're Kraken Slayer and a Hearthbound Axe, and if you get caught by anyone at any point, you are dead because you were just so far behind. You're still Twisted Fate. You're still squishy. You have no front line. And without wave clear, you're not going to be able to push a wave up and just kind of tight your way back and constantly have those minions. You have to kind of sit in it for a while, unfortunately, and puts himself in a vulnerable position there. And it was not like he was way overextended either. He just isn't going to be able to live against 2 threats like that.
Yeah, and it's also King getting some revenge. He's been the only one really targeted here by DRX, unfortunately for him. But still has 2 kills to his name, and is only behind by a few CS up against this Camille. And you can see DK really starting to run away with the gold. Aiming, setting up shop in the mid lane, and he's very, very safe.
Yeah, I just don't think that, unfortunately, Teddy is going to have the ability to really free hit in any of these team fights, even with Camille and with a Poppy as well. I mean, you have a great front line.
I mean, yeah, and there's a lot of peeling options. But
oh, absolutely. It's just...
It's just not what, and it's also not really what this comp wants to do. The problem with 1-3-1 and why we don't see it very often here in the LCK is it's more difficult to play, and it relies on you having so much added lane control.
Yeah, you can't lose the game pre-20 minutes, as unfortunately DRX did in Game 1, and it feels like they have here in Game 2.
Yeah, Lucid now just going to run at them. Sponge can interrupt, does decide to go for the heroic charge, and Shattering Strike is going to miss. You can see Lucid just holding that crash down, wanting to see when Sponge will press W. He just doesn't, and therefore Lucid doesn't either.
Making it not a 1-3-1, but a 2-3-0 right now with the Twisted Fate and Karma.
That sounds a little bit too much like math on stream to me.
Yeah, they paired up this time. I don't think it's going to be a successful pairing compared to what happens down here with a Rift Herald pushing an inhibitor.
It's not actually fair because there's an extra player, and her name is Shelly. She's going to headbutt this turret, and Sponge has to flash away. Kellen moves on in, and maybe they just won't stop. Tempered Fate is going to connect onto the Poppy. Crashdown comes in as Lucid is looking to get rid of his arch nemesis in the Steadfast Presence. They will be able to take him down, and yeah, Camille is going to be trading, but we're going to get another charge onto a Nexus turret. It is 20 minutes. Boys, one turret away from them just having a Nexus exposed.
Yeah, the Void Grubs, or the little Voidlings,
are we just
flying out.
Are we base trading? What's happening here? The turret is going to go down, and that denies the teleport, and they will be able to take themselves this, no, okay, never mind, they won't, because Destiny and Gate have to be used
but he
in
won't
order to get Satab out of here.
You won't get the inhibitor, unfortunately.
But he was there to see the turret go down.
Yeah, he did. He did grab that
the local
explosion.
gold.
Yeah, and the local gold that comes with it. No.
Now Kingen is going to find Satab here as well. Denda has been popped. There's Ace in the hole as well to spread around that money. Flash does have to come out. Kingen, he still has his, but Rascal is going to come in, and now Kingen's very, very low. Hextech ultimatum, but it's not enough to save him. And Rascal is also extraordinarily. Oh no! Teddy 100% trolled by the Blast Cone.
There's your action, Valdez.
Yeah,
there's your Blast Cone action right there.
That's not the one we wanted to see.
The sacrifice of Teddy. The sacrifice of T plus Kia. That's what needs to be done for this team to earn their way towards playoffs, their third win of the season. So sacrifice Teddy for it to happen. If you're a D plus fan, you'll take it. Oh boy. Well.
Okay, Sponge is going to say goodbye to the Karma, but still has a Lucid problem, and that is going to be enough to cause his departure from the Rift, at least for now. This is, I mean, it was a shellacking in Game 1, and it is doing the same thing here in Game 2, Wolf.
You know, in, what's the Monty Python, the Holy Grail, where they go to the Knights of Camelot and they're all dancing and they're like, on second thought, let's not go to Camelot. This is me like going to East Side games. I'm like, on second thought, let's not cast East Side games. Silly place. This is going all the way back to the Rift Herald charge, and because they have Twisted Fate and Camille topside, Satab and Rascal cannot assist here, and then another great Tempered Fate catches Sponge, and he's burned down. And then the Rift Herald gets another charge here on the inhib, which allows them to just instantly take that out. Then who can stop Shelly from charging? And then Satab here, I mean, the man is tilted. Okay, the man is not having a good day. He is not. He's trying to do what he can. He's trying to push. He's trying to get gold where he can. And then Rascal says,
almost worked.
Yeah, Rascal says, like, hold on, I can save you. He can't. But he did. It was a good try. And Kingen does get taken out by Teddy here. And then Teddy's, wait. Nah, sorry, you're not coming with us.
No.
No!
Flashed into it. Auto was in the air.
He said, Teddy, if you go for that kill, I am leaving you behind. He said, no, I got this. I'll just get right back over the wall. No, you're not. You're on the wrong side of the blast cone, my man.
That's like if Indiana Jones had have reached under the door to get his hat, but then it would have just gone down.
His hand and his hat stay on the other side of the door.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other side of what could have happened in that movie, guys. It would have been a lot more gruesome.
I mean, what if Teddy somehow did get on the other side of the blast cone and survived? It was the sickest snipe of all time.
Harrison Ford would have been impressed, 100%. As D+, they're going to take down another inhibitor. And there is only one Nexus turret, remember, guys. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they're just going to turn on to mid-inhib, I guess. I mean, they have to... I was going to say they have to respect Rascal's ult, but actually he doesn't have it.
And Arrow this time is going to connect. Lucid is going to get Mikhail's, though, and now he's going to look for that crash down. Finally, Steadfast Presence going to do its job, and Lucid might actually be punished for this one, but instead It is Rascal that goes down. The wallets are excruciatingly heavy, and they are bearing down now on DRX. It's a double kill. Now for Aiming, who's just walking at Teddy. He's trying to do Ezreal things, but it's not quite working. Another W is going to find its mark, but it's a little bit too little, too late. And Pleta and Sponge just gonna have to watch as their Nexus once again falls down in back-to-back some of the quickest games that we've seen here this season in the LCK. And I imagine the catharsis for D+ Kia could not be higher, breaking the losing streak that was about to be the longest in their history.
Yeah, it remains tied with their other three, 2019 spring, 2020 spring, and 2024 spring. This current season will not reach 5. They'll take another 2-0. The only other win they had, before that streak was against Nongshim at 2-0. So now they've got their second 2-0 here. At least they're able to win this dominantly, because that's what you needed so badly for your mentality, for the team's momentum, right, is to crush DRX, 9th place team right now in the LCK. You really needed to smash this series, to give people faith, give people hope that D+ is still on the level. They still got it in them, and tonight they showed they absolutely do. There is definitely a gap between these two East Side teams right now.
It certainly is, and I think that now teams are just going to have to ban Rel every time. I think that you just can't let Lucid have it. I think he's just too good at this champion. In the bottom side play, I didn't actually see it in the play-by-play initially, but he absorbs an arrow in order to get on top of a Poppy so that she can't press W to deny a crash down. Beautifully played once again. Loved the Bard play from Kellen as well. As we mentioned during the game, I think that this is the best Bard we've seen all season. There haven't been too many of them, but when we have seen Bard, it's been a little bit iffy. This was incredibly proactive play by this man right here, who had a really good game. And I think that having an uplifting series like this for D+ Gear is going to be very, very important.
Yeah.
And we have to remember, they're expected to win this series, right?
Absolutely.
But if they hadn't, it would have been absolutely devastating. I think that DRX, for them, they know that it's been a lot of struggle. Yes, you managed to win against Bro, but I think that's something that everyone's been able to claim so far this season. And they're just going to have to work on these struggles themselves.
Yeah, Lucid sets this one up here, the counter play they go for after the gank on the Kingen. And then the Twisted Fate just unfortunately wasn't able to make a huge impact in this game, and we didn't get to the point where he could have side laned. He went for Kraken Slayer, so he didn't have Insane pushing our wave clear, which they might be thankful for ultimately at the end of the day, because they'd never had enough control for him to really ever be out there anyways. But this game, just like game one, went so off the rails, so against even what the draft means so quickly that D+ just kind of ran around the map and did what they wanted. This was a little bit scary for me for a moment, where I was like, they do get them, right? Like, it's not actually a disaster, right? It was for Kingen, but they do commit further here. And then I thought for just a moment when Lucid goes over here that maybe he actually gets focused down, but they just don't have the damage, unfortunately. And Satab is locked up here. He's a lot of the damage they had in that unit, and he's just blown up. And this